Hi, in this video we're going to talk a little bit about nested if statements. So I started out already with a program in which I've already included a scanner and I've already included a prompt asking the user to enter a number between 10 and 50. And then they're able to enter that number in and we're storing it as num. So we want to check to see if num is within that range 10 and 50, but we're going to use nested if statements for it. So the first thing I want to check to see if num is greater than or equal to 10. And I'm going to use curly brackets, even though I'm only going to need one statement, but I think especially with nested, it helps to keep straight what goes with what. So if num is greater than equal to 10, then that means that it's within the range, at least on the bottom side. So at the end of that if statement, I'm going to use an else, and I'm going to say system.out.println it is not high enough. Because we know that if they don't enter a number greater than or equal to 10, then we know that that's not high enough. Now, if it is greater than or equal to 10, now we need to check to see if it's less than or equal to 50. So nested if statements will read the outer one. If the outer one is true, then it will go inside and read the next one. And you can also nest on the else side as well. So because it's greater than or equal to 10, now I'm going to say if num is less than or equal to 50, and again a curly bracket. So this is basically checking to see if it's greater than or equal to 10, true. If it's less than or equal to 50, true. If both of those are true, then I'm going to say the number is in the range. Okay, so at this point I have what happens if the number is in the range. I also have what happens if the number is too low. Now I need to add what if the number is too high. So if the number is too high, then that means that it was greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, but it wasn't less than or equal to 50. So I need to add an else to this nested if statement that's inside here. I need to add an else to that one. So the else that I'm adding right now is only read inside. So let's go ahead and let me put my system.out in. The number is too high. So basically, if you notice, I have my curly bracket starting the if statement here and ending it down here. So all this code inside, so this entire if statement, will only occur if it gets inside the initial one. So if it's greater than or equal to 10, then it will go in and read the rest of these. If it's not greater than or equal to 10, it's just going to jump down to this bottom else and run that. So let's go ahead and just run with a couple different examples. So if I were to put in, say, 34, we know that that's going to be true and that's going to be true. So we should see that the number is in the range. So if I were to run it again now, let's put in something that's too low. So I put in 5. This first statement will not be true. It's not greater than 10, so it's going to skip clear down to the else that goes with that and say that it's not high enough. And then finally, the last option, if I put in, say, 80, this first statement's true, so it does go inside. However, this one is not true, so it's going to do the else that accompanies that if statement. So as you can see, when you're doing nested if statements, even when they're only one line, the brackets are still really helpful. Technically, though, I could have left some of these brackets out, but I would highly suggest that when you're doing nested if statements that you go ahead and keep the brackets in. It helps make it more readable.